glance is that this story is not just about obedience, it is a clear prefiguration of what God would later do by offering his own son. Notice how God provides a ram at the last moment, sparing Isaac. Just as Isaac was spared, Jesus, the Lamb of God, took our place in the final sacrifice. Both events are deeply intertwined. Moriah, the place where Isaac was to be offered, is believed to be the same location where the temple would later be built, and nearby, where Christ would be crucified. This parallel helps us understand that God's plan has always been unfolding, even from the very beginning. Have you ever thought about how Isaac carried the wood for the sacrifice, just as Jesus carried his own cross? And more, the fact that Isaac did not resist his father reminds us of Christ's submission to God, the Father's will, in the Garden of Gethsemane. Everything points to the future perfect sacrifice of Jesus, something that was already foreshadowed from Genesis. This story is an invitation to recognize the continuous pattern of redemption that runs throughout the Bible. In the book of Exodus, we find one of the most iconic scenes in the history of Israel and Christianity, the Passover. This event not only freed the people of Israel from slavery in Egypt, but also prefigured the final sacrifice of Jesus Christ, the true Lamb of God. In Exodus 12, God instructs Moses and the Israelites to sacrifice a perfect lamb without blemish and mark the doorposts of their homes with the lamb's blood. This act ensured that death would pass over their houses, sparing them from the 10th plague. Now think about the depth of this image. The blood of the lamb that saved the firstborn of Israel from death is a clear symbol of Jesus, who would later be the sinless lamb, shedding his blood to save us from eternal death. Jesus, like the Passover lamb, was offered without blemish, perfect and obedient. John the Baptist captured this connection brilliantly when he saw Jesus and declared, "Behold the Lamb of God, who takes away the sin of the world." John 1:29. This statement, made centuries after the Passover event, connects the past with the future, revealing the true meaning behind that first sacrifice in Egypt. What's interesting here is that just as the blood of the Passover lamb was applied to protect families, Jesus' blood covers those who believe, offering protection from God's judgment. This parallel is central to understanding the plan of redemption and how God has always used physical symbols and events to point to greater spiritual realities. What began as an act of deliverance for Israel culminated in the final deliverance offered to all humanity through Christ. Isn't it amazing how everything connects? In the book of Leviticus, we find the central role of the high priest and the sacrificial system, especially on the Day of Atonement, Leviticus 16.